entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
An opportunity is given to the public for commentary. Comments are limited to one comment of no more than 5 minutes. Whenever you're ready, Rob.
Mayor. Yeah, Mayor, I was just going to suggest that perhaps you want to alert the public that there is a public hearing on the marijuana ordinance. And if people want to comment on that ordinance, it's up to you and the council, of course, but it's probably best to comment in the public comment period for that ordinance. It's up to you.
Okay. Yep, that's up to the public. If they want to do it then, that's fine, but let her rip, Ron.
Okay, sir. If you could, please, there's a reaction buttons to the lower right. If you would like to comment now, hit that reaction button so I can see that you're in the audience and want to make a comment, and I'll pick them as you start to come up.
And
All right, here we go.
We need
I
the
don't
name.
have the button.
Oh, okay,
We
hold
need-
on.
At the lower right?
Yep, I got you, Georgia.
Okay, and my husband as well,
Okay,
but he doesn't
Go
have
ahead.
an iPad, so he'll be on mine.
okay. Are you going to comment now, or are you going to mute
Yeah,
out?
I'd like to, I would just like to say, I'm Georgia Schilling. I live at 88 Ithanel Road, Hopatcong, and I agree with the prohibition of the sale and or manufacturing of cannabis in the borough of Hopatcong.
Okay,
My husband would like to speak as well. Just give your name and there's what you were saying. Keith Schilling.
Yeah, I'm Keith Schilling, we're 88 Ethanol Road, Hopatcong. As my wife said, we both agree with the prohibition of the sale of manufacture of cannabis in Hopatcong. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
okay, we're switching around here. Okay. H, you're on.
Heather Fury, Windsor Avenue. I just have a couple of questions. One, I wanted to find out if the town is considered reopening or looking at having the summer camp, because the school is currently allowing Alphabets to host their camp, which would be the same hours that the town would have. And also the superintendent has made it known that the camp guidelines haven't come out yet, apparently, which I don't know for sure. I'm going based on what the superintendent said. So there's no way to know that we couldn't hold camps. So I'm just trying to find out if that is being looked at, because the summer camp is something that most parents in the town look forward to. And the second question is on the bill pay list, there's something referencing a lawsuit or something to do with, what's the last name? I forget what the last name is. There's a bill on there for legal services for a particular resident. Is that active litigation? Those are my only questions.
Okay. David, you're up. You got to unmute, Dave. There you go.
Okay, I was glad to see that the county is going to pave River Styx Road and Hopatcong in May, according to the engineer. I was wondering, has the final list been prepared for the township roads, and is Crescent one of the roads?
Okay. That's it, Dave?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Lefty Grimes, you're in?
Good evening. My name is Lefty Grimes. I'm with sativacross.org. We're a 501c3 here in New Jersey. We advocate for disabled persons and cannabis patients' rights. 68% of Jesus's miracles were for the disabled. And I ask you to separate the issue of medical and recreational. There's a huge issue. There's a huge difference between the two. You have people suffering with cancer, people suffering with multiple sclerosis, people in wheelchairs that can't get around. I'm in Morris County. There's nothing around here. If you're in a wheelchair, it's even worse. You have to pay somebody to drive you somewhere. And that's not easy if you're in a wheelchair, because first of all, if you're in a wheelchair, usually you don't have a lot of money. It's not easy being in a wheelchair, especially in Hopatcong. I can't imagine. There's no wheelchair access anywhere in New Jersey. And we need to look out for the people that are sick and dying. We just celebrated Easter. And Jesus taught us to have compassion for the sick and the dying, to put the last first. And all over New Jersey, I see them putting the last, putting people in wheelchairs back in line. And now with recreational cannabis, they're going to be even further back in line. They're going to have, when they get to the front of the line, they're going to have the strains that they need gone. The amounts that they need gone. We're getting taxed. Our medicine is not covered by insurance. We're getting hit from all sides here. All sides. We can't get a break. We're buying cannabis that has mold in it now. Dispensaries, these huge corporate cannabis dispensaries are selling us cannabis with mold. So yeah, all the people that wanted to vote no, that my friends, that activists that wanted to vote no, their point was well taken, because now we're under the influence, we're under the thumb of corporate cannabis, Walmart weed. We don't want Walmart weed. I want craft cannabis. I want cannabis that's hand trimmed, that's taken care of, that's with love and care and compassion. They're just trying to make money. There's people out there just trying to make money off the backs of sick and dying people. And I've seen it all over New Jersey, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing my friends with cancer get nickel and dimed and being pushed out of towns. You have people in your town that in wheelchairs, you have vets, disabled war vets. How far do you think you can go in a wheelchair? Have you ever spent the day in a wheelchair? You know, it's easy to pass ordinances from afar when you don't have to take someone's medicine out of their hand. But that's what you're doing. And
Mr. Grimes, could I just interrupt you just for 1 second? And I hesitate to do this.
Please do.
I just wanted to alert you, the ordinance that's on tonight exempts medical dispensaries.
Dispensaries? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see that on there, but okay, if you say so, I believe you. That's great.
If you reach out to me, I'll point out to you where it is in the ordinance. And we don't normally interrupt people when they're speaking.
Thank you.
But you seem very passionate about this, and I wanted you to know that the ordinance specifically exempts medical dispensaries.
Okay, then that makes me feel a lot better about this, because I didn't see that on there. It seemed to be just cannabis blanket, and that's what I see a lot. And I hope that more towns would separate the issue. And I also want to say thank you for letting us be seen as well as heard on this meeting. A lot of towns, I've been all over the state, and a lot of towns, they don't let you be seen. They don't let you be heard in some towns. So I would also ask you to think about your police officers. There are police officers that need cannabis also, and they should be allowed to use it. In certain towns, they're allowing it. The Attorney General sent a letter out to a town in Hudson County, allowing their officers, if they choose to use cannabis, just as they would use opiates or any other drug. If it's in their system, they would show their doctor's note. And because we advocate for cops to get their cards, because we only hear one side of the story from law enforcement. You don't hear the other side, because police chiefs that are for prohibition, that are for legalization, can't speak on it because it's federally illegal. So the police chiefs have lost their First Amendment right, which is not fair. And I'll also say that cancer should not be something that makes you lose your Second Amendment rights. If you have cancer or MS, you should not lose your gun privileges. I'm not a gun advocate, but I will say what's right is right. And if you have the Second Amendment right to have a gun, cancer should not be something that makes you lose your gun rights. And I'll end it with this. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Ron.
All right, let's see here. Jeffrey, you're up.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jeff King, 24 Elizabeth Parkway, Eatontown. I'm also of like mind with Mr. Grimes. I would advocate everything that he said. I would agree with and second his entire statement. We need compassion. We need some understanding of the benefits that this will bring. I would like to sincerely thank you for including medicine. That's a very, very important distinction. It's a matter of life and death for people that are suffering with the terrible ailments that would qualify patients in New Jersey for a medical dispensary. So bless you for that. That's very enlightened, very wise. It's a good example. It helps take the stigma away from the plant that unfortunately has caused a lot of suffering, be it on a racial level or just people that couldn't get access when they were physically in pain. So thank you for being part of the solution. And as far as what you do with banning or regulating, zoning it, I don't really know what would be best for your municipality, and I don't really want to suggest anything in particular other than just the open mind and the tolerance, and maybe some homework as far as what it really means to have a business. And I mean that as far as, for example, lounges. I don't think lounges are right for the majority of New Jersey, but people right away assume that means smoking lounges and that means polluted air, but that could mean edible food. That could mean gourmet food that is done in a restaurant of high caliber by chefs that are well educated, like a wedding facility they have in Colorado for years. Instead of people getting drunk, they have concentrates, and it's popular, and it's an alternative that might be considered more healthy. I think it would be, actually, objectively, but that's, I feel like you're going to do what you want to do, and that's what your job is, to represent the best interest of the residents and the community and the constituents. We all want children to be safe. We want access for medicine. It's the Autism Awareness Month, and I don't think all rec is necessarily medical. You can say that, but like some people are just taking bong hits in college for fun. But really, like people that are middle-aged, or you have aches and pains, you sleep better. Eat a brownie, you sleep better. If you have a sleep issue, I promise you won't regret it. But that's, if I don't get a card, I can't do that in your town. So that's why you have to think about how it's not like cut and paste, or it's not black and white. It's very gray. So you have to use good judgment and just keep an open mind, because I'm still learning. I've been a consumer for 3 decades plus, and I'm still learning about stuff. Some young people know more than I do about vaping and concentrates. So, I mean, fearing the new THC is ridiculous, though. It's absurd because there's tons of endocannabinoids. It's not just THC. That's one thing.
Time is up. Time is up, Jeff.
All right. To be continued.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, Colleen, you're up.
Hi, I just wanted to ask if this was the appropriate time to bring up the Witten Park proposal, or if I should wait, if we should be talking about that later in the meeting. I see the resolution later in the meeting.
You can talk.
Now is the right time.
Yeah.
Now it's the right time. Okay, so I just, sorry, let me just share my screen so you can see me. So my name is Colleen Lyons. I am here just representing the Lake Hopatcong Commission. And I did just want to be present in case there were any questions about the resolution tonight for Witten Park, the Highlands Council application, or the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation application. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm here. I'm available if you had any questions about that proposal.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
June Seal, you're up. June, you can unmute.
Hang on. Okay, we got it. Sorry, something went funky.
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Eric Seal, 17 North River 6 Road. I'm June's husband, Hopatcong. One thing, this is about the dispensaries, distributors, and other things. I realize that cannabis is legal to smoke in this state, and that's fine. I don't smoke marijuana, but that's the law. But as a Hopatcong citizen, I don't really feel that out-of-towners should have a point in whether or not we legalize distributors, delivery services, and the such. I vote conservative. I vote for our council because they're conservative, and I do not want this sort of thing in our town.
And then as Eric's wife, June, again, being a member of the Municipal Alliance, I spoke last time at the meeting about the ordinance. I do stand against allowing the distribution, the establishments, the delivery services and manufacturing in Hopatcong. I really do not believe it's necessary in our small town. And I believe that it could be a potential detriment to us and to our children. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Next up,
Thank
Ron.
you. Valerie, you're up.
Hi, everybody. This is Valerie Quinn, 31 Williams Trail, Hopatcong. I am a Hopatcong resident. I am very fearful of the idea of having a dispensary in town and allowing marijuana in town, recreational. That I believe in my heart, and I have been on the Hopatcong Municipal Alliance since 2010. I actually was the coordinator for quite a few years. And the things that we learned from the county and from the state about marijuana is something that I don't want in this town. Unfortunately, we do not get a lot of people participating in Alliance meetings. Unfortunately, we do not get a lot of people participating in Alliance events. Everybody sticks their head in the sand. But I believe if we start having recreational marijuana in this town, we will be bringing other people into the town. As far as medical marijuana goes, in the 1950s, everybody smoked. Why? Because your doctor told you that it was good for you. Your doctor told you it would release your stress. Your doctor told you it would calm you, and you would lose weight, and you would be able to sleep better at night. And now, what do we know about tobacco? What do we know about cigarettes? And how many people has it killed? I also believe that what we know about marijuana is not even scratching the surface, and the fact that it's being shoved down our throats, that this is a sleep aid. One of the gentlemen talked about is sleeping. It relieves anxiety. It helps pain go away. I don't believe that that is correct in my heart. I don't believe that that is right. And maybe it does help some people, but I also see, and we have seen on the Alliance, and we've seen documentaries on exactly what happened in the 50s and 60s happening right now. We're being pushed to believe that this is something, this is the end all be all substance that is going to make everybody better. And I just don't think it's good for our town. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thanks. Next up, Ron.
All right, let's see here. Hugh Giordano, you're up.
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. My name is Hugh Giordano, Argyle Avenue, Blackwood, New Jersey. Speaking today as a representative again of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, UFCW, Local 152, the official cannabis labor union of adult use and medical use cannabis workers and professionals around the country. Just point of clarification, real quick, to your township attorney, Mr. Urson. I did see the ordinance, and I saw that it did specifically say cannabis dispensary. So medical, does that mean that if a medical cannabis dispensary were to apply, if they were approved on the state level, that the Hopatcong would be open to having a dispensary then? That's a conversation that could be had?
I think that's right, yes.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much. So I want to, on behalf of the UFCW, thank the council because this was done in a very, I guess you would say, bipartisan way, and a nonpartisan way, where you at least allowed a dispensary for medical patients. And I have to say thank you on that end, because it's still a win for patients and it's a win for workers. I'm glad that I didn't have to come here and say that this vote tonight would be a vote against the working class, against workers, and against patients. So the fact that you were at least willing to make some compromise shows good political posture. And on behalf of the UFCW and the patients of the working class, which I represent, I want to say thank you. I also want to thank Councilwoman Johnson for the last meeting, for making robust debate and asking those good questions. You could tell that you generally do care about working people and the issue of patients. So thank you very much for having good, robust debate at the last meeting. Once again, medical cannabis can provide great jobs as well. The UFCW is creating an apprenticeship program. We are working with many employers and universities, Stockton University and other community colleges within New Jersey. So this will bring well-educated and adults into your community. Patients go through a rigorous time to get their card. Doctors and scientists are the ones who make that decision. It should not be made by someone's feelings. It should be based on data and facts. And the states are doing a great job in regulating it and making sure that medicine is medicine and not treated as an adult use substance. I also would say that having a regulated market, I take great offense on behalf of the workers, the members that we represent in cannabis, when people believe that it will go out the back door. These workers are professionals. It's their career. They spend 4 to 6 years in college to get a degree to be a professional within cannabis, even in the dispensary. And I would hope that the council would support the workers and make sure that those types of stigmas are gone, and specifically with patients and workers within the field. Because we don't treat pharmacy techs that way, do we, when we go to CVS or Rite Aid? So I would hope that we would have more respect for the workers in the field and the patients who need that medicine, who are under a doctor and science based supervision. If the UFCW can be of any assistance, please let me know. Take you on a tour of the first unionized dispensary in New Jersey. And the reason I say that is because they're the first ones to do it. Garden State Dispensary, that's still available. And also, if you're looking into ways to set up a agenda of how people apply to have a medical dispensary, the city of Bayonne just passed a great ordinance. So you can decide what types of dispensary you want, the hours, and look at environmental standards, hiring standards, community standards, so you can have a lot of control. So, and it also creates good jobs. They have labor standards in there too. So the city of Bayonne did a great job. They put the time and effort in. They didn't rush, just like you guys didn't, which I thank you for. Please, I would contact the city of Bayonne and check their ordinance out. It's a great standard. They took the time and effort to do it. I think it would do good for you. It would create revenue and great jobs. So once again, thank you so much. Thanks for creating good medical cannabis jobs. And thank you on behalf of the patients, once again, thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. Next up, Ron.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Jamie Van Spiver. I'm Greenwich Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. I also am with Sativa Cross Nonprofit, and I'm a medical cannabis patient in the state of New Jersey. I have systemic lupus. My immune system attacks my soft tissue, my organs, obviously most detrimental, my muscles, tendons, ligaments, skin. I was on several pharmaceuticals for several years, and my body was not responding, was not doing well. I started the cannabis program and immediately it turned around. So I do want to thank you for recognizing the difference between medical need and recreational use. I would encourage you to be careful with the language that you use. It seems like it's kind of stigmatizing, and then the very last sentence, it says nothing herein should be construed to limit any privileges to qualifying patients. The really cool thing about science is it's true whether you believe in it or not. And I'm here because lab work does not lie. I've been healing my body, and I'm tired of being stigmatized for choosing a natural medicine. I have a system in my body, my endocannabinoid system. It's an anatomical fact. It's there just as realistically as our cardiovascular system, respiratory system, central nervous system. And there's also a plant put on this earth by God. And it's been controlling my immune illness. I don't have to take infusions, immune suppressants, anti-malarials, nerve blockers, antidepressants, anti-anxieties. I would hope that, it's done being stigmatized in your community. This is helping so many diagnoses. We have veterans that are dealing with physical ailments. They are dealing with PTSD that I'm sure none of us could ever imagine. And veterans are killing themselves at a rate of 25 per day. We need to do something different. I don't know if anyone's familiar with pharmaceuticals, antidepressants, specifically SSRIs. They'll tell you it'll probably increase your feelings of suicide thoughts. We have to do something different. And it's not going to happen while we're stigmatizing a natural plant that our bodies have a system meant to receive. I really do encourage you to please separate in your ordinance and describe what you recognize as medical use and recreational, such as alcohol. Chronic illness and chronic pain is not going away. And I think we all understand that people develop tolerances and in turn need more of medication. And I don't recall you guys voting about Oxycontin and fentanyl shops and controlled substances and narcotics popping up in your neighborhood pharmacies, in case you guys are confused. That's the substances that are killing people. That's the substances that people are overdosing on. Those are the substances and the reasoning that your Narcan count is going up. Cannabis has never killed a person in history. And I would like from this day on of you understanding that cannabis has never killed anyone and that people are overdosing on the substances that you do allow in your community. I would like you to think about every Narcan instance from this moment on and be curious if any drop of blood should be on your hands. This is an exit drug. This is a healing plant. And it's time to stop and ending the stigma. We're sick. If I wanted to be on opiates and narcotics, I could have them delivered to my door. No stigma, no travel, no expense to me. It's easy to go down a bad road. You should really choose for people in your community differently. 67% of New Jersey voted for recreational. Why are you going against your constituents? Because of some misinformed, miseducated people. It doesn't sound good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, Ron.
Yes, hello. My name's Christian Velasquez. I'm from Dover, New Jersey. I'm in Hopatcong all the time. Have lots of friends there. I'm against this ban on cannabis businesses in your town. I'm a patient, and this is really hard. Medicine is really hard to access in Morris County and in Sussex County. Now, 2/3 of New Jersey voted for cannabis to be legal. It's only the 1/3 of New Jersey that's still stuck in the reefer madness. Cannabis is now going to be used as preventative medicine. You won't have to have a medical marijuana card to use cannabis like Advil, for burns, for headaches, arthritis. Cannabis is a neuroprotectant and antioxidant. It protects your brain. It helps people with Alzheimer's, to prevent Alzheimer's. It relieves chronic pain. It promotes bone growth. Cannabis promotes homeostasis in your body. So that means it literally makes the organs and everything, every system in your body work properly. We all have an endocannabinoid system, even if you don't like cannabis. That just means you're cannabis deficient. These businesses would be owned by residents of the town. And, this is the real problem we got. we have to go all across. I'm with Sativa Cross Nonprofit. A few other people talked here. I'm with them. The biggest problem we have is we have to go to all these council meetings across New Jersey because people are banning cannabis and they're still ignorant to the fact of cannabis. We don't have home grow, and that's the biggest problem in New Jersey. If we had home grow and I was able to grow my medicine at home, I wouldn't have to go to all these council meetings and continue to fight for cannabis access. Currently, there are 2 bills in the Senate and the Assembly for home grow, S3582 and A5552. Asking if you guys really don't want businesses in your town, reach out to your senators and assemblymen to pass this bill for home grow and give the people what they want, because the people want cannabis. Your constituents want cannabis. Studies shown that when legal cannabis is available, people are drinking less and the amount of overdoses go down because they have a legal option. Cannabis is an exit drug from alcohol and pharmaceuticals. So I hope you don't pass this ban and you allow cannabis businesses in your town. Thank you.
Next up, Ron.
Joanne, you're up.
Thank you. Joanne Flexer. I am a Hopatcong resident and I'm on the Municipal Alliance. I have a series of questions. Who would be allowed to purchase recreational marijuana? What will the controls be over who's allowed to purchase? And what are the ramifications if in using this, they're violating traffic laws or any other laws? And driving under the influence. What happens if somebody is driving under the influence of recreational marijuana? These are big problems in my mind. And I think, we don't need something else to cause more problems. It's nothing to do with medical. It's a recreational issue that we're dealing with here. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Ron.
Again, anybody that would like to make a comment, please go to the reaction button so I can see that you're there. Here we go. Gerald, Gerard, you're up. You got to unmute, Gerard. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. You're in.
I live at 313 Idleroy Trail in Hopatcong. I see on the list of bills that there's an ordinance to approve the issuance of refunding bonds. And I'm very happy to see that particular ordinance. But I'd like to know what has changed since the meeting that I attended in person over a year ago, when I was told that couldn't be done, and Councilor Urson seemed to be particularly emphatic that we couldn't do any of that. I mean, I'm very happy that we're doing it, and I certainly applaud the council for taking that action. But what's changed? That's number one. Second, if the council has a liaison to the Board of Education, it might be worthwhile to investigate a resolution that the board adopted at their last meeting. It seems that the New Jersey School Boards Association is sponsoring a statewide cooperative purchasing program. Now, I don't know all of the individual items that might be contained under that program, But considering the buying power of a statewide purchase, I would urge the council to liaise with the Board of Education and see whether or not this kind of a program might be adopted by the League of Municipalities. That's all I have.
Thank you. You got more on?
Don't see any. Mayor, let's give it a chance here. Let me go through the screens. Mayor, at this time, oh, hold on, I got Jewel. Jewel, you're on.
Am I unmuted? Okay. I wasn't sure whether I was to speak at this part of the meeting or whether I would speak when we talked about the ordinance. But my name is Jewel Gurman, and I live at 82 Ethanel Road in Hopatcong, and I've been a full-time resident since 1979 in Hopatcong. And frankly, I don't think our town is the place where any recreational cannabis should be sold or grown. I think that this type of business would not lend anything to our community. I do agree that medical cannabis is a different situation and needs to be addressed differently. And I fully support that to be available within Hopatcong. But other than that, I just think that it's not the direction that we would want to our businesses to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, more on?
Take a look here. Mayor, I don't see any hands up.
Entertain a motion to bring it back.
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're back. Well, I appreciate everybody's input. I hope they didn't leave, because medical marijuana is a very important component, a very important tool for people dealing with many issues, and it's a very powerful drug that sure as hell beats opioids and painkillers. We're allowing it, we're making the exception of ordinance because of the Compassionate Use Medical Marijuana Act, NJSA 24:61-1. That's the law that created the ability for us to have medical marijuana. So make no mistake, if someone is interested and comes to our town, it goes through the land use board. That will be our process. And I have no problem with that. I don't think our town would have any problem with that. As a matter of fact, personally, I don't know why in the hell you can't go to the drugstore and fill your prescription. But you know, our people in Trenton have their own ideas of stuff. But we do realize in the borough how important it is and what a powerful drug, and sometimes it's a much wiser approach to some of your health issues. I know people with Parkinson's that use it. It's like a miracle drug to them, and it doesn't addict them like opioids will. But that's what I have to say to that.